Wow, this video, I feel like I don't constantly want to get into drama things, but I think this one needs to be addressed mainly because I have far too much respect for the person that is kind of in all of this. And I just want to address that side of it when it comes to being online and social media and putting ourselves on the internet. I learned this a long time ago. Like people gonna people. They're either gonna like you, dislike you, no matter what you do. As long as you're doing it for the right reasons. Like, I think character is super important. So if you're doing it for the right reasons, mess ups and things are okay. I think if you're genuine, usually these things turn out okay. I feel like I'm a pretty genuine person, but I want to address a lot of the stuff because I'm also not infallible in all of this too. So first thing I want to talk about is apparently all the negative things I said about Lamar Peters, me calling him trash and that he's terrible and he sucks and whatever. You go look at the comments. A couple things I want to address with this. So if you go look at the latest video with Off the Dribble, once he gets going, there's nothing you can do to stop him. This was Lamar Peters and Zay versus Keem and Dooley. Watch this game, and I commentated with Dev, and the main thing with this was, yeah, I went back and listened to it. I even sent a message into the Discord, and I apologized. I apologized for my commentary. Not because I thought, seeing all these comments, I was like, man, what did I say about him? I went through, I rewatched the film, I listened to it, and I completely understand why a lot of people were upset or feeling like we were throwing shade at Lamar Peters. I went back and listened to it, and I was like, yeah, some of that stuff I probably shouldn't have said. But honestly, everyone that watches my channel, everyone that has been around me, like, these are all things that I would either say to someone's face or I'm saying just from my point of view. I don't think I'm better than anybody. So reading through some of these comments, obviously a lot of people don't watch my stuff, and I have to be better about that as a commentator. I don't need to inject too much of my personality into it. It should be the game should be the main focus. The players should be the main focus. And I need to find a way to blend into it and not distract from it. So I do feel like I was very distracting from the game. So I'll take that one on the chin. But at the same time, I think some things that are important to point out is the fact that the timeline of these videos, this Detroit series, this was my second time commentating ever. So I'll get better. I'll get better as we go. I read the comments. I engage with all the comments just like I do on my channel because I want to hear the feedback. I'm sitting here giving feedback to all these players just as a coach does, but I had to do that as a player, right? Your coaches give you feedback. You go watch game film. First time you watch game film, it's really confronting. You got to see all the things you did bad, but after a while it becomes a habit. So I go back and watch the game film on the commentary to see what I can do better. And also, obviously, I do breakdowns, but I listen for my commentary and see where I can improve. Watching a lot of these, reading a lot of these comments, some of it's directed towards Dev, some of it's towards me, but I engaged, and some of them I had really good conversation. This one, I said most of my videos and commentary have jokes, but this one I made one with LP. And I said, I will definitely take that feedback into account. He's one of the best in the scene and deserves no shade. Same series though, I made jokes about Zay's three-pointer, Nas eating during the game, etc. But when they are shown weeks apart, you as a viewer can't see the through line, and I understand that now. Appreciate the feedback. So I've taken a lot of these on board, as in the last thing I want to do is go, no, I'm not changing anything. Of course, I want everybody to enjoy the experience. But also some of them are just criticisms that aren't real, that aren't valid, but there are quite a few that I need to understand from a viewer's perspective. The way these are produced and put together, like I said, we did, what was this, 8 games? I think we did 8 games in one day, and we did 16 games or so over the weekend. So some of the jokes I made were carry-on jokes. So I made a joke about Lamar Peters not being able to shoot free throws, and it's because he was missing a ton of free throws over the weekend. But when that video comes out to you guys, you don't see those other games. This game, I think he went 1 for 2. So you'd be like, why are they so harsh on his free throws? So that is something I have to be better at. I need to try and judge each game on its own and not try to carry over from the game before, because some of you didn't see the game before, or you're going to see it 2 weeks later, and the jokes kind of just don't make sense. So finding that balance between jokes, humor, commentary, and that sort of stuff, I've got to do better. The second thing I want to talk about is, or the next thing I want to talk about is my personal, or I guess where this came from. was just this here. It was a story that Dev in the lab posted. And this was OTD posted, "Hey man, what's your problem with Lamar? Dev in the lab, we need answers." And Dev responded, and I do think like there were a lot of times where Lamar scored, and I remember this very vividly. There was a lot of times he scored and we'd jump up off the table, or we just like threw the microphones and we're just like, oh my gosh. But some of those reactions, like these are edited, right? So some of those reactions don't get put in, or some of the audio doesn't get put in. So there's that part of it too, like from a production standpoint. So don't want you to think like we really have something against Lamar. Like every time he scored, we just were like dead silent and then looking for the next moment to hate. The other thing I wanted to talk about that is like I've spoken to Lamar directly. If him as a person, as a hooper, like I respect him more than pretty much anyone on this scene. If he feels slighted by the things I said, I will 100% walk everything back. Like this is more about him as a person. I don't want to attack anyone's character, and I don't want it to come off as my critiques of his basketball as anything other than respect. So at the end of the day, that's the commentary side of it. That's just me saying what it is. If you don't agree, whatever, that's fine. But this video, like I've always spoken very highly of Lamar, and I've told him to his face. I told him the first time I met him, watching him play in LA, watching him over the course of that weekend, and I said to his face, I said, I really think that you can be the best overall number one hooper in the entire space. And he was like, yeah, sometimes I'm unmotivated. And like, he's a human, right? So I've said that to his face. And I think it's one of those things about like, why doesn't James Harden train harder? Why doesn't this player do this? We can't put our goals and ambitions or our perceived ambitions onto another player. So Lamar said he wasn't motivated at that moment, and then it was like the very next game he's like the most motivated I've ever seen. Then the next game after that, and like he's improved every single game. This is what I've said in the past on my channel about Lamar, and this is before this Detroit series has come out, but it's after the Detroit series. Looking at Lamar Peters, I think I said this on my channel, I think by February or March he's going to be I think he'll be top 5 by then. By February, March, I think he's going to be top 5. Talent-wise, I think he's a top 3, top 2 player. I think by February, March, he'll be in the top 5. And when I say that, I mean like solidified. Mark my words, I think Lamar Peters is going to be just the amount of progression that he's shown every single game. And when you see him in person, it's just a little bit different. There's some people that have like aura or energy when you're around them. Lamar Peters has that. And what I mean by that is like he's got a goal, he's got a mission. It's not he doesn't just go out there and hoop. I think that first pay-per-view he just wanted to hoop, wanted to get back into it, didn't really care. But when he lost, I think that was probably the best thing for him because he's hungry and he's got ambitions, he's got goals, he's got things he wants to do. Anyways, this goes on for another, I don't know how long, 3 minutes of me just basically glazing Lamar. But with all that being said, right, communication works only one way, right? Like I can tell you what I'm saying and what I mean, but if the message isn't being received that way on the other end, like there's a communication problem there. It's not your fault. It's probably more my fault. If I can see that there's something I can change or I can word better, certain phrases, I think some of the time I'm probably too harsh because Lamar might be playing someone who might be a number 7 player, but we're constantly comparing him to Nas, who's a number 1 player. And that's probably where a lot of that unfairness comes from. And so I think it's a balancing act that I'm going to constantly be trying to get better at, making sure that these players in this space are getting their flowers, make sure that these players in the space are getting their respect, because that's all I've wanted to do for the scene. Like, again, my career is over. Like I played overseas. My basketball days are far, far behind me. And I wish this was around when I was playing. I wish this was around so that I could have different avenues and I could have these opportunities. And what I've seen since I've seen this space starting to grow is like, I want more people to be able to have full careers off of basketball outside the NBA, which is, I was fortunate enough to have that. Not because I was necessarily better than everyone. I got some good opportunities, good luck. Okay. So some of these guys now, they have some of these opportunities, and I'd like to see them take them all the way. So a guy like Lamar Peters, who was just outside the NBA, was like a fringe NBA guy, watching him step into his one-on-one space, starting to take it extremely serious, starting to see the skills and everything he can do. I've got nothing but respect, and I would never want my commentary or my jokes to throw shade or to have anyone think that I don't respect what he's done for the space. So again, this wasn't supposed to be a whole video glazing Lamar. This is supposed to be a video just like explaining and also taking some responsibility. Like I need to kind of slow my roll when it comes to commentating, because I'm new to the space too. I'm new to this, not new to basketball, done basketball my whole life, but the last thing I want to do is for you guys to notice me in the commentary. In an ideal world, maybe you see me like off in the corner of the camera one time, you're like, oh, that's Coach Mid-Range commentating. But the rest of that, I don't want to be noticed. I want you guys to notice the game, and I want to be able to be behind the scenes and improve that as much as I can. It's the same as referees, right? Like a referee never wants to be noticed. Like if I walk into the gym and do my job and walk out and no one's upset with my job, I did a good job. So that's how I want to be on the commentary. ABC crew, if you guys have any feedback, I mean, you guys are the ones doing the, I mean, this looks weird with my microphone and the other microphone here. I was like ducking. ABC crew, you guys have been doing this. You guys have kind of laid the foundation, laid the groundwork for this whole thing. So you guys have feedback. I'd love to hear it. Again, I critique these guys all the time on my channel. Of course, I can take some criticism. Love the feedback. Also in the comments, you guys keep giving me feedback. Like I said, if you just don't like me, or if my jokes just don't land with you, like I'm probably not gonna be able to fix that, right? My personality is my personality. But if there are tangible things that I can fix, obviously that's the stuff I want to do. I want everyone to enjoy these videos. So anyways, I just wanted to address it. Just like I said, I don't want to move it aside. I want to show like, yeah, we could probably do better. Me and Dev can probably do a better job. Last thing we want to do is take any shine away from these players that have earned it, and they're putting their neck on the line every night they go out there and play. Their neck, their reputation, all that. So anyways, thank you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video.